Okay, so you'll notice up on the top right of the screen, you can see a best time up there. Yeah, I tried recording these last 9 levels in a video last night, and apparently it was so long and so large in terms of a file size that the entire video pretty much did not even come through. No video, no audio. Despite that, the file size was like almost 2 gigs. So that means I'm going to have to go back and record this all over again with the hopes that I can get through this quickly enough that that won't be an issue. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed here. If things get too long, I think I may stop the video just so that it can be split up and everything. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and we'll try to make good time. So with that being said, what's up everybody? JB here, welcoming you back once again to another episode of CCLP2, in which I'm hoping we can finish the set in this video. It's well, not exactly a beautiful Saturday morning. It's kind of a gloomy Saturday morning, but hey, that's the perfect time to record Chips Challenge videos. So, yeah. After this, I'm hoping to get on to CCLP3 and start recording. Eventually, CCLP1. I really want to go through these in chronological order. So, I've kind of discussed at length sort of what happened in the community after CCLP2 was released. We had a big, what's the word to use? We had a very large increase in people interested in designing levels and stuff. So that was really neat to watch. But what happened with out? That's kind of an interesting story, and unfortunately it's a rather long story. Not long to tell, but in terms of how long it took. So, back when CCLP2 was released, Dale Bryan, who was the staff coordinator and the person who adapted this level, along with its predecessor, promised everyone that there would be a CCLP3 eventually. And what he had in mind was he really wanted, since CCLP2 was a Microsoft-only set, he really wanted CCLP3 to be a Microsoft and Lynx compatible set. And then he was thinking CCLP4 could be only Lynx compatible. And I think CCLP5 would have been both, and then CCLP6 would have been MS only, and so on and so forth. But that never really happened. Because Dale pretty much just disappeared off the face of the earth. The people who he had on the CCLP2 staff who were kind of basically going to be on the CCLP3 just kind of disappeared, and so now we're going to go to the right side here. So we're going to switch the toggles using this button, and now for the much tougher right side. But yeah, a lot of these folks just disappeared, and no one really knew what happened to them. There were a few who stuck around, but even they didn't know what was going on, so that was kind of a little bit not very helpful. So a bunch of chipsters like me were just kind of left in the lurch wondering, okay, what are we going to do with this set? And a lot of people in the community, because it was just such a gargantuan thing to initiate, a lot of people in the community weren't really hot on the idea of starting up the process of building a new set. Let's see, I'm going to do that. This part is really tricky, but once you get this part down, the rest of it's pretty simple. So what I did is around 2009, keep in mind this was like over 7 years after CCLP2 was released. Around then, I just decided to start testing the levels that were submitted. I don't know if submissions were officially opened, so to speak. I think they were, like in 2006. Someone made an announcement saying that they were, but then nothing happened after that. It may have been even earlier than that, but levels were submitted, and then nothing really came about. So in 2009, I decided to just start testing the levels for compatibility, just to see how that went. And it was a very, very long process, like very long. And I'm hoping this is right. I think that's about as good as I can get that. I can probably do better, but I don't want to mess it up. So I was kind of really busy at the time. Like I had an internship going on. That was technically my first job, so to speak. So it was kind of a trying time for me as far as just adjustment. But CCLP3 testing was a nice way to cope with all the change. I was about to graduate from college too. And one of my goals in doing all of this was that I really wanted to show the rest of the community that it was possible to start work on the sets in some way. If not only I mean, if only just to help the staff out, maybe they would notice, and if they were just kind of stuck in that rut of, oh, hey, I don't really want to, have to overcome this hurdle of, testing all this stuff, then maybe they could see that someone was doing it and it would make it a lot easier. But no one from the staff really said much until Larry Jackson, who was an optimizer and who had been slated to work with the staff, came out of the blue and just said, I haven't heard anything from the others. Why don't you just go ahead and do this? You have my blessing. So I decided to just run with it and to ask the community, okay, do you want me to coordinate the effort to build the set? And they were all okay with it. And so that from that point, I selected a staff, and we proceeded to then go through the process of voting and doing all that stuff. And it was a good group. I really enjoyed it. Like, the one person who really made the biggest difference was Madhav Shanbag, who really, really came through with a lot of the organizational stuff and with some ideas for naming levels and just ordering things. I'll talk more about that when I get to my CCLP3 Let's Play, but he was a big, big, big help when it came to assembling the set and stuff. So, yeah, CCLP3 was a really neat experience, and it was definitely not the most perfect set. I mean, there were a lot of things that I wish I could have changed about it. And again, I'll talk more about that when we get to the set. But the process of building it and constructing it was really, really valuable. Because I was able to take that and then apply it to the next set that I worked on, which was CCLP1. Currently, as of this recording, CCLP4 is being built. Well, not built yet. It's there are levels being submitted, or no, submissions have closed. My bad. I keep mixing up the timeline here, but submissions have closed for it, and the staff is currently testing the rest of it as far as I know. So, yeah, CCLP4 is going to be a thing. I'm really excited because I feel like CCLP3 was a very, very difficult set. CCLP1 was meant to be a set for beginners, to sort of stand in the place of the original set, CC1, and then CCLP4 I'm really hoping will be more like this set, just with better design, in terms of just how difficult it is and just what the curve of difficulty is. It could use a gentler difficulty curve at the start, but overall, the range of difficulty that's covered by this set I think is just right. I wouldn't mind seeing CCLP4 have a few really tough levels at the end, but nothing quite as saturated as CCLP3. That, like, on an individual basis, they were good levels, but put together, I mean, they were a pretty rough bunch. So I'm really hoping that CCLP4 will help address some of those issues. So this is Oracle 2 complete. I forgot to mention the name of the game I found through a comment that this was based on was called Jewels of the Oracle. So sometime I have to check that out. Anyway, this next level is called Chomper Romp, also designed by Dale Bryan. And it's not my favorite level in the world. It just basically involves leading teeth out into their deaths, and also picking the right blocks and guessing which blocks are safe to push. And I do happen to know which ones those are. The other ones have teeth underneath them. And like I mentioned earlier in the Let's Play, a creature on top of another creature is a no-no in Lynx. And I want to say that this is in which that's a thing. I could be wrong on that, but I want to say it's the only one. So this room... Oh, okay. I guess that was kind of step dependent, so that's a bummer. See, that kind of thing I just don't agree with. Okay, come on, guys. And then the last one can go die. There you go. So on top of this, you have 4 quadrants where you have to do the same basic routine, but then you have this ending area in the middle, which I'll get to when we cross that bridge. Okay, I'm going to actually try going down this time first, seeing if that makes a difference. Okay, I don't know if that actually made a difference or not, but hopefully it did. Come on, guys. There we go. Good. That didn't take nearly as long. That thief sound. Am I the only one who finds that thief sound kind of a little annoying? I mean, it's just so... what is the word? I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a very friendly noise. Speaking of friendly noises, I got a story to tell you guys. A few weeks ago, I went to Las Vegas for a conference. It was for a software thing. Basically, we're opening up a new internally operated online store at work. And, you'll notice here that this one's a cloner, just because this, if this were open at the start, then all the teeth would immediately flood out. But anyway, we're opening up this store, and so we're using this platform. And I went to this conference back in April for this platform that we're using. And I've never been to Las Vegas before other than this trip that my parents took when I was a little kid. So I don't really have many memories of it. But I gotta tell you, it has got to be one of the noisiest places ever that I've been to. And not in very good ways either. Probably the worst part was just walking out on the strip and just having to deal with all the people there who are just, trying to sell things. And the worst ones are the ones who are peddling strip clubs. And the way they do this, this is what really grinds my gears. The way they do it is just so unfriendly. Like, they have these cards that they hold in their hands, and they slap them together like that sound. And it's just such an unfriendly noise. I do not like that noise. It's just not a good noise. I just don't get the appeal of that. But anyway, gotta deal with some teeth. But yeah, I was so happy to leave when we were done with everything. It was cool though to see the strip. I mean, it's one of those places I've wanted to go to for a while and everything, so I'm glad we did. And I got the same time as I did last time. Anyway, Trapped is the next level. This level is by Tire Thawing. It's kind of like Trust Me, but there is a level, or there's a bust like that level has. So I'm going to try to pull that off, and it's kind of dependent on a controller boss thing. On the lower right portion of the level, there are blobs, and they control this machine. So as long as they're facing the right way, the paramecia won't clone until they're facing the right way. So you just have to try this over and over and over again until you get it. That's basically all there is to it. Come on. Just a few moves away. Do not clone. Yeah. Oh! No! Come on. Yeah, this level's bold solution is a little mean in terms of luck, but try hard enough and you'll eventually get it. And do believe me, this is actually faster. There you go. This is faster than trying to do the level the normal way, because I would take forever on that. Anyway, Wormwood is the next level. This is a really, really cool level. So this has a really interesting... Actually, let me start this over with Odd Step. I'm going to try to do this the sort of optimal way, and that was not the sort of optimal way. So you have to regulate some cloning going on here, and you have to do so by using this teeth monster. And this is actually really fascinating. So you go down here, and you'll notice all these bombs here. You don't want all of them to blow up, or at least you don't want a fireball to go through that teleport there. But by pressing that block, we've essentially allowed a glider to start cloning fireballs indefinitely until we block it with this block. However, there is a busted solution in which you don't even need this block at all. You can just totally make a mad dash for the end, which is pretty crazy, but I'll show you how it's done. I'm definitely not going to get the bolt or even the time I got before because I wasted some time, but that's alright. Unless I make a mistake. We'll see what happens, though. Oops, I should have waited there. Okay, let me try it again. This is a really cool concept, and this is probably one of my favorite examples of how a bust can actually enrich a level. Like, normally I'm not a busty kind of person. That just sounded really strange, but normally I'm not really a fan of busts just because they totally cheapen levels in some cases, and you can just skip entire areas. But here, this actually requires quite a bit of cleverness, and I like it for that reason. By the way, all these other blocks have bombs underneath them, so I'm not going to go for those. Okay, I think we're about to move behind. Possibly 2. I think on the left side than I needed to there before doing this bit right here. So yeah, the intended solution is for the fireballs to clone, the teeth to block them, and then wait there. The teeth to block the fireballs, and then stop the cloning, and then all the fireballs would flow down into the bombs, and you wouldn't clone more than you needed. So, really interesting solution. I may have just missed one move last time, because I think I may have missed a boost off the force floor when I got the suction boots. That may have been what I missed. I'm going to actually try to go for the bold time here, because it is kind of fun. So yeah, this level was made by Eric Schmidt, and is one of my favorite ever levels by him. Okay, yes, I am on the right track now. Alright, that's what we wanted. We wanted those 3 chips down there like that. I do remember that was part of the bold route. So maybe we can actually get bold here. Let's see if we can pull it off. Oh, wait, I forgot about that little change in parity there. My bad. Alright, I'm going to try to make sure we don't waste too much time here so the video doesn't end up being a cajillion hours long or anything. Okay, I think that'll work. I think I used the same number of moves there, so hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, this is one of my favorite levels in the set. I really love this one. I'm not entirely certain what the whole point of these blocks with the bombs underneath them are. That's always remained a mystery to me, but... Anyway. Also, this force slide is a nice place for fireballs to go to, so you want to make sure they don't go here if you're doing the intended route. They will go here once they get set free here and everything. Okay, here we go. Oh, I still got 538. Okay, not sure what I missed there, but anyway, the next level is Gauntlet. This is another Dale Bryan level, and a really crazy one to get bold on, just because it involves some severe luck. But I really love this construction here with all the monsters just in step, such that you can just slip right through. I mean, it requires intense precision, but I really love it. And then you get this area here with the teeth, and this is tough. You really have to be on your toes here. And the route I'm using is the optimal route for this part. It's the most consistent way I can think of to make sure you don't get killed, but it is a tough route to negotiate, in links especially. So now we don't need any chips. You'll notice there are 2 other chips here that you can get if you wanted to, and if you didn't get everything in the teeth area. But then you get blobs. They hold down these traps at the end, and I'm going to clone some walkers to make sure we can get to the end. And this is what makes the level really difficult to optimize, is this part. I guess I could have just flicked right off there. Come on, die. Okay, you know what? There. Come on, there we are. Didn't quite get the time I got last time, but oh well. Now, on to Run-a-Muck. This is by John Matthews, and this is quite a level to optimize as well, just because it's a long level that involves a lot of going back and forth, and it's pretty crazy. You also might recall that Gauntlet has the password that we uncovered in Cypher 2, so it's pretty neat stuff. But yeah, this is a huge item swapper with a lot of dodging and stuff mixed in, and normally I wouldn't mind a level like this, but the fact that it is as long as it is what really turns me off to it. Just not a really big fan of that. I mean, other than that, it's a very well constructed level. I mean, I don't have any complaints there, but it's a really tough level to negotiate when it comes to dodging, especially if you're optimizing, because like that tank section right there, you pretty much have to find a different route through that section every time you go through, just because the tanks are at a different position most of the times you go through. So yeah, it is really, really difficult. Okay, wait, there we are. This section we're about to go to is yet another crazy one, because you have to deal with this glider, and I hate this glider. It's just, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. Okay, thankfully we made it out, and now the glider is going to cause slide delay. Now this part here is kind of a little bit deceptive. I'll show you what I mean here. Remember those teeth that were in the room where we got the flippers? Yeah, you have to make sure that the teeth are both at the top of this room. Because you want to ultimately make sure, yeah, there we go, that they don't come back down while you're going through the path below the teeth room that we're using the fire boots on, and for which we needed the trap button pressed. That's why I went up here first, by the way. Well, and to get the teeth stuck. So yeah, that's a really tricky little component of this level, but pretty clever though. So yeah, here we won't have to worry about going right and then releasing them, because if they did get released and if they did ever make their way down, we'd be stuck in this area forever since there's no way to go right. So don't do that. Just make sure that you play it safe here. Okay, and then we get this section again. And then we get a section that's really nerve-wracking. Like, really, really nerve-wracking, and it's this bit. I do not like this part. Having to deal with the fireball and these balls is, oof, it's really, really nerve-wracking. I can't think of a better word for it other than that. I'm sure there was a better one, but it's the word I prefer using for crazy stuff like that. Alright, so now we can go to the exit. So all in all, this level, it's not that bad once you know the solution, but it's a monster level to negotiate if you're optimizing it. Here we have 5 bombs here that need to be blown up, and the blocks that are on this set of squares in the checkerboard, if you will, are movable. The other ones like this. Oh wait, no, not that. Oh, wait a minute. This. Those are the ones that are not. That was kind of funny. Anyway, thankfully there's like a bajillion blocks, so you don't really need to worry about running out. And in Lynx, since the ones that aren't movable are just cloners without clone machines underneath them, you can just push those too, so that kind of helps speed things along. So yeah, the build time in Lynx is faster than the build time in MS, which is really neat. But that is Run-a-Muck completed. And now we can exit. Moving on to Cloner's Maze, and you can see by the time limit that this is very, very lengthy. Yeah, this is a crazy level to figure out. No fast maneuvers or split-second timing required here. Just use your brain. This is also one of the 6 levels in the set where I don't have the build time, because the build time does involve split-second maneuvers, and there are quite a few possibilities when it comes to split-second maneuvers that I still have yet to explore. So, yeah, it's a crazy level to figure out. But for the purposes of this Let's Play, I'm going to use the quote-unquote intended solution, and I'm hoping that's not going to take that long, so fingers crossed. So what you want to do is you want to use the clone machines to blow up bombs and to strategically bounce monsters off monsters and traps. And there are 3 clone machines, I think, if I remember correctly, that are at play here. There's a glider cloner that we're playing with here. There's the fireball cloner that we passed by on the right side. And then there's the other glider cloner that's on the right there at the start. And the glider cloner that's at the right, that's the one that's going to be the one that's for the intended solution, is going to be really tricky to use well, for lack of a better way of putting it. So the button there that you see that's in the little island, that controls the fireball cloner. We're going to be using that an awful lot, because we're going to be using a lot of fireballs, and the fireballs are going to have to go up over here around the edge of the level, because on the right side, you may have noticed that when we covered that trap button earlier, is the clone button that controls this glider. So yeah, it's quite a multi-step process, and one that's rather, I don't want to say annoying, because it really isn't, but it is repetitive if you're doing it the intended way. So, tell you what, let me clone another one. Because I want to have the glider. The glider is going to come around here. I'll show you how it works. So, the fireball just got cloned, but the glider is going to come up through here, and he's going to blow up that bomb for me. So now I can get a red key, which is handy. And the bomb that the fireball just blew up is this one up here, so we can get that. But I also want it to bounce off this red door, so I'm going to have it go down here so I can get this blue key as well. So that's a pretty nifty little trick. There we are. Now these two bombs, what we need to do for these guys is we need to send fireballs looping around through this trap by pressing this again. And actually, let me just do one more. That yeah, I'll do it this way. Go over this way, press the button, and I want to make sure I release these guys, mainly just because there's more stuff to blow up here. And also because I don't want a glider to get stuck in the trap after I release a fireball, because that would be really, really bad, and pretty much inhibit my ability to do much else. Okay, so now that bomb's blown up. Good, good, good. So I'm going to continue releasing gliders down here because I want to make sure that all the stuff gets taken care of. I still need to blow up that bomb, so I'll have to take care of that too. So yeah, this guy's going to go through, going to go down this way, and he's going to go to the lower right corner for us, so that's going to help. And then we got this guy, and we're going to make sure that he goes all the way off to the bomb up here and blow that up for us. So now we got this one, and now we can go get the chips here at the bottom. Or wait, no, we still have a bomb to blow up, so we need to release the fireball and get it down. Okay. So that should take care of that. So now comes the tricky part. This is the part where we're going to have to clone gliders. And for that, I'm going to move this back. And I'm going to release... Actually, let me release one more glider to blow up that bomb. Guarding the trap button down at the bottom left. That should do. We need to do that because I want to make sure the fireball can get in there. Okay, so let's... I'm just going to continue pumping gliders up there because they'll die. Alright, so I can get this chip now. So the fireball is going to go all the way around the outer area. So it's going to be a very long trip for this dude. But the gliders are ultimately what we're going to use because we're going to be cloning gliders to go up to this area and then bounce off the chip we left there and collide enough to get to those bombs guarding the yellow key. Very, very long process, and it kind of requires that you're... if you want to get it done quickly using that method, you pretty much have to be pretty lucky with your collisions, which I'm not really the biggest fan of that. But at this point, I believe we should have a glider cloned. I think it just cloned. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to release that guy, and now I've got another fireball to use, and I need to do this. Now, yes, you can technically use better collisions and more efficient methods to do this, but I want to show this level the intended routes for this. Okay, so that's going to go down. I'm just going to continue releasing these guys because I don't want a glider to go venture off into the fireball trap that it clones onto. Ooh, that was close. Okay. Okay, so now you guys can go up here. Let's see if it collides just right, and it did not. Okay. So we're going to have to clone yet. one of the annoying things about this level, but we're making good time. We're not quite as tight on time as when I previously recorded this and I was kind of stumbling around a bunch. Let's see. Get you over here. Oh, whoa, okay. I did not mean for that to happen. Okay, now they're definitely not going to collide right. Okay, we're just going to have to keep doing this. The trap. Though, I mean, we've got a lot of time. I'm hoping the last two levels won't take that long, but I don't think they will. Okay, you can go up there. I'm going to begin the process for this guy. Okay, and whoa, that's actually kind of close. So thankfully those didn't interfere with each other. Alright, so I'm going to wait this time before I do anything crazy with this glider. Okay, there we are. Alright, so now, did none of them collide? Really? Okay, another one should do it. Definitely, I mean, it should do it. Okay, there should be a glider cloning soon, right? Didn't we just release a thing down there? Okay, yeah, I think that just happened. Alright, so glider, you can go ahead and go forth, and then you can go ahead and clone the next one. Okay, one bomb clone, woo! Alright, that is good news. And, oh, they didn't collide in just the right way right there. Ah, that's annoying. Alright, well, here's what we need to work on next. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get a glider to go up through the trap here. And there's going to need to be a glider or something sitting in there. And then the glider's going to have to bounce off. I'm going to have moved the block up, and then the glider's going to go through the button and then bounce off a fireball. So essentially we need to clone 3 fireballs is what we need to do here. And I guess I could have just waited to do that until I did. I could have saved time there. Oh well. Really? Come on, guys. Get your heads in the game here. There we are. That's more like it. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down, take care of this section. This is kind of an interesting little interlude here. I'm going to press this 3 times because that will switch the toggles twice. It'll keep them in their original state, but it will also move the tank into a parity that will make us be able to access the exit. So the glider's going to go up here, bounce off the chip, and then blow that bomb up. So hope that makes sense. Alright, so I don't say... Yeah, there wasn't a glider down here, but you never can be too careful, you know? You never can be too careful. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to continue pumping out fireballs into this outer area. Well, 2 fireballs, technically. This should do for this guy. And that went pretty terribly, but thankfully he's just going to die, so... Okay, so now I just need to get a 3rd fireball up in here before that guy comes around. Which shouldn't be too difficult. I don't think that's going to be too hard. Okay, so he's going to go down. I'm going to push this up, and then the glider should clone, and then bounce off that. If all goes well, fingers crossed. Okay, there we go. Good. Excelente. Alright. So at this point, we have 2 chips here, In addition to that, we also need to get the stuff that's guarded, the one that's guarded by the gliders up there. So I'm just going to shut this down so they can all die. Okay, that's enough time. And at this point, we should just be able to go up here, way out of this level. I really enjoy it. I kind of wish it was untimed, just because I think that would have been more appropriate, but for whatever reason, the CCLP2 staff wanted every level to be timed. So moving on to Neptune. This is the one and only level by Luke Longprey in this set, and I love this level. It's just really weird. That's kind of it seems to be a tradition with level 148s these days. I'm just going to set this up such that everything can flow correctly. Hopefully this will work. So we need both of these buttons to be pressed. I'm also going to go ahead and take care of all the bomb exploding here. Yeah, that's the timing you have to use to get them all in there. Kind of tricky, but not too bad. There we go. So all the bombs are exploded. So now I just need to get the fireballs down here to do all their stuff that they need to do. There's also one extra chip, which is kind of awesome. I like extra chips. I think they make life interesting. Alright, so hopefully the tank button rhythm won't be weird, when now it looks like it's going to be. Come on. Okay, good. Alright, so now we got that part under... Whoa! Okay, that did not go very well. Alright, I'm going to stick with what I did when I recorded this the last time, and that is just don't put a block near the green button. Because that somehow worked, so I'm going to see... I think that's the right level. No, it's one more. I'm just going to see if that does any good. Hopefully it will. Yeah, I like this level. It's really open. I don't know how it relates to the planet of Neptune. Maybe it has something to do with the god Neptune, but there's not really much water here, so I don't really see how that really correlates. Alright. Hopefully this will work. We'll see. Okay, now they've stopped. Please go. Okay. Alright, so I think that will do. The only problem with this is that it's going to involve some waiting, if I remember correctly, for the green button to be pressed. But hopefully that won't take that long. There's also going to be a little bit of a scare with a glider coming in here, if this goes the way it did last time I tried this. Yep, see, there he is. But he's not going to get up here. Come on, walls, change. I thought they would have changed by now. Okay, there we go. What? Okay, what did I do differently in this? Did I just collect a different set of chips or something? Because I thought I collected all the chips last time I did this. I could have sworn I collected all the chips. I didn't really move any of these blocks around. Okay, so that does that. Yeah, that is really bizarre. I don't know what was up with that. Well, we'll have to see if we can pull this off. Alright, so now... maybe if we move this up here... I think I did that. I may have moved that up. So let's see. That might somehow make a difference. You never know. Oh, that's right. We gained an extra move last time, didn't we? We're so close to being done with this set, guys. We're so close. Let's go over here. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about right now. Yeah, so I push this up. I'm just going to see if this does something. I don't know. We'll just see what happens here. So now I'll go through the fast way like that, and that will enable us to not wait here or get killed at the same time. There we go. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now they're going to be stuck for a little bit. There we go. Good. Alright. I may have just gone too quickly last time. Like, I'm wondering if maybe in the previous, like when I solved the level the previous time, I'm wondering if maybe I just waited a little longer there and I hesitated. Maybe hesitating actually helped for once. That would have been really quite a twist. Well, all there is to do is just wait here and see what happens, so fingers crossed. I like that glider bouncing around. That's kind of funny. Come on, guys. Don't let me down here. Okay, there. Didn't quite solve it as quickly, but we made it! Neptune complete, and now for the final level, Key Color. This level is one of my favorite ever levels. Like, this is the final level of the set, and it is such a great capstone level for it. It is also the top voted level in CCLP2. It was made by David Stanley, and it combines so many different concepts in a really well done variety level. I really enjoy this. Like, this is probably my favorite capstone level of every set ever. Like, some people like Mr. McCallahan Presents from CCLP3. That's a level I made. But I like this level more. Like, this level is much more reasonable. It's much more enjoyable. It feels like it's deserving of the final level slot. Like, I just love it. It's very, very nice. And the puzzles that you can see here, these are pretty simple puzzles. They're not too bad. There's even extra blocks, which I'll get to later on. So while I'm playing this level, I figured I might as well wrap up the set with my little mini review at the end, kind of summarizing my thoughts. So what do I think of CCLP2? Well, I gotta admit my opinion has changed over the last few years, particularly as casual play has become a lot more commonplace. Originally, when I LP'd CC1 and everything, I was not very fond of this set, and that's mainly just because there were so many levels that were poorly designed. And that's, like I said earlier, a product of the fact that we just didn't have many levels to choose from, and design just wasn't quite as thought out as it is now. But despite that, there were so many highlights to this set, and they all came together beautifully. Like, I just love the levels in this set. They are just so amazing, so well crafted, just everything just... Like, when the set's good, it's really good. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I like the switch hit inspired section, by the way. And like switch hit, for instance, that's a level that took a concept that we've never seen in CC before. And to be honest, we haven't really seen it much since. And part of that, I think, is just because it was done so well in that level. And it's very memorable because of that. Now, granted, you'll always have your, levels that just aren't that great or rely on shenanigans that are rather treacherous, as Rock would say. But some of those, I'd have to say, added something to the set. Much more than I thought they would. And for that, I'm grateful. So, overall, I would give this set a 6. It's got some highlights, it's got some low points, but overall, as a product, I might raise it to 7, but I'll go with 6.5 for now. Overall, I really, really enjoyed it. Not bad for a first community set. One fun thing about this level is that blob cloner that's in the area out there on the right didn't really have gravel originally. And the CCLP2 staff, later on, they added that gravel to make sure that optimizers didn't exploit that area and get higher times by virtue of the blobs hitting the trap buttons in the previous room. I actually almost had that happen once, but then I thought, oh, I've cooked the level, I need to start over. Not realizing that I could have taken advantage of that, and that was before that was implemented into the set. So, yeah, a little fun fact. So, yep, this has been CCLP2. Looking forward to doing what That was not necessary. What I was going to say was I'm looking forward to doing CCLP3 here on the channel, and I should be beginning that right after this is complete, so be looking forward to that. Thank you guys once again for, I just wanted to kind of give a bit of a closing statement here to bookend my opening statement from the first video. Thank you guys so much for just being as supportive as you were when I relaunched, well, I don't want to say relaunched the channel just because that hasn't really happened yet, but when I first posted that first video, thank you guys for just being understanding with everything that happened with that. I still feel really terrible about being away for so long, but at the same time, I gotta admit I don't as well, just because I feel like it was necessary as far as just personal growth. I mean, just sitting here and recording the last 12 videos, I gotta admit, I feel much different just commentating now. Like before, I was so concerned about saying all the right things and making sure that I was properly prepared and rehearsed. And that's not all gone. I mean, I still want to make sure that the LP is a quality thing. But it's not quite as much of a, you know, what's the word? Crutch, I guess, if that's the right way to put it. It's not quite as much of a crutch as it used to be. And for that, I'm really grateful. And that would have happened unless I stepped away. I watched some of my content. I worked on my own personal life. Because, I mean, I can be like this in real life, too. And it's not really a healthy thing. So I'm really glad that it happened the way it did. And I'm really thankful for you guys' comments. I really am, because at first I was really worried, like coming back, I was like, they're going to totally hate me for leaving and everything. And I'm really thankful that everyone was just really happy the channel was back and everything. And if I ever do another hiatus like this again, I will announce it. Okay, like I said in the first video, the circumstances surrounding this were just kind of came up. Like, I wasn't planning to leave, and then by the time like a couple of weeks passed, I was in that really bad place, and I just didn't feel like making any videos. So I kind of buried myself in Chip's challenge optimization because that didn't really involve talking to anybody. But now I think things have gotten a lot better. I've gotten plugged in here in Colorado. Life has been great. Life really has been great. I couldn't have asked for anything more. And you guys are a part of that. Like, I want this channel to be a part of that. I want to continue doing stuff here. So one of the things I'm going to try to do, just so you guys know, I'm going to try to record videos in advance. Now, some YouTubers don't like doing that because they want to make sure they can address comments and, you know, concerns that kind of came up en masse during a Let's Play. But I don't know. I just love making sure that I have lots of stuff ready for you guys in case something does come up. So I'll try to do my best to respond to comments, but I'm probably not going to be responding to comments in videos. I'll probably be doing it manually from this point on. So just something to keep in mind. Alright, so this time, let's make sure that we don't have another blob death here. Dun, dun, dun. The cloning sequence is thankfully... Okay, there we go. Okay, that's... yeah. We're done! Key color is complete, and with that, CCLP2 is complete. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this series, be sure to hit that like button, and I will catch you on the flip side. So take care, and I will see you all when we play CCLP3.